So is Game Capture trying to do... Oh my god, it is. Ha! That's why... Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Sorry. There... Look at me, I'm huge. Nobody wants to see me that big. Girl. Get your ass. My nose is gone as well. Let's downsize me a little bit. There we go. There we go. Hi. It took me a while, but I'm back. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, today is going to be a little bit different. We got your girl live on the internet live, doing some crafty things in her little red pandas because, you know, comfort's key and all that. Today, as I said, is going to be something a little bit different. As you can see down here, hi, this is going to be my new craft cam. So, on days where I'm not playing games, you'll see this little guy down here. Say down here, up here, in the top right. Now we'll make him a little bit bigger once I get started. But yeah, today I thought we could try some, as the top says, some punch needle embroidery. And we're gonna see if we can make this bad boy. Now, I am new to all of this. Well, new to all of this in the sense that I've never tried crafting on camera, let alone live streaming it. And I am new to the whole punch needle game as well. But like a girl says, she unemployed, she's trying new things. She is trying to combine her hobbies and see if it works, really. I've got to find some way of paying the bills, as it were. So today we're going to try the punch needle thing. We're going to try different things at different points. I want to try doing baking on camera. I want to try, like, maybe do some painting on camera. I have a lovely decal machine, so we might get into some of that at some point. Winter is coming, winter is here, but the big C word is apparently less than 100 days away. And that means market season is around the corner. So she wants to try and get some bits together so that maybe one of our local Christmas markets, she can, you know, sell some of these lovely goodies. I have my face in a hoop. No. This is going to come in handy. So I think what I'll try and do is I'll try and show you here the equipment that I'm going to use. Or I can try and show it here, but I don't think it's going to have the same effect. We'll see. We'll see. We're learning. We like learning. First, she's going to have a sip of hydration. So this week is all about the testing. Seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. We will go back to playing games, obviously, but we'll see how things go in terms of crafty streams. You know, we could do one half the day where we do some crafting, and the other half of the day we could do games. We'll see where the vibes take us, right? But yeah, I guess we'll let's get started. Jesus, this is New even to me. Sorry, I'm playing with this. No, this. So this guy is your, you'll see him here. Can I bring it up further to the camera? Yes. He is your guy when it comes to, this is like your threading needle, essentially, for your punch needle. But this lovely contraption is different from the ones I've used. I'm not going to say what it looks like. I've got to get used to where this is. So this one has a like lock-in system, I think, which I've only heard about, I've not seen. So there I have it locked into this one here, and that gives you the length of your needle. So assuming that I went like further up, the longer the needle you have. So I'm gonna have to get used to that. That's new to me. But yeah, we'll see how things go, right? So as I showed you here, I have my little hoop. So, and your screw to pop in the top here to hold it in place. So what we want to do is, we have some lovely material, which I'll place down here, which you can see, or just about see, is the flower, right? So there she is. Well, you won't be able to see her here because of the green screen. But yeah, if I place her down here, you can see better. As you can see here, we have what the outcome is going to be. No, here, yeah. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to, for now, I'll make this a little bit bigger. We'll pull her up right here. Yeah, that's the one, I think. That's the money shop. So yeah, we have our whole design here, and then this is the actual design here, right? Yeah, cool. Then our hoop, what we're going to do is we're going to place it, place the material inside it, because there's essentially like two hoops. You can see that's the outer one and the inner one. So what we want to do is we want to place the material on top here, so we can hold it in place while we're stitching it, like so. And then, if you see a lot of me looking down, that's obviously why, right? As I'm placing it. I think if we did it roughly like, see, I don't want to pull it too much on any of the sides. So I think roughly about here would be cool, right? Because we've got enough room on all sides then, and we pull it. So once we're happy with where it is, which I'm pretty happy with, where my fingers are at the top, we're going to place the screw in here. Sorry, I should show you down here. I want to pull it so that, you know, we're not getting any fluff or it's not bulged on any particular side or anything. It could be a little bit difficult to do, but yeah. So we squeeze that together. If we can start threading the screw through. Sorry, I'm trying to show you in such a way that you can actually see what I'm doing. I don't think I should have taken the screw out, honestly. Okay. Sorry guys if I'm not getting this fully on camera. I know you're gonna see my fingers in the way. But just... Oh, she's gone through. Okay. What pattern are we doing today, Meowdy? We are making like a daisy, essentially. A daisy pattern. This is my first crafting stream, so welcome in. Thank you for joining. We're making a little daisy, the punch needle embroidery daisy. Thank you. Hopefully it comes out just as pretty as it looks. This is my second or third time punch needling, so it's all new. It's new to me. But you know, we're trying something a little bit different. I am, to give you a bit of background, I'm currently unemployed at the moment, but I love hobbying, crafting and doing things like that. So I just wanted to give this a go and see if I can combine my fascination of streaming and crafting. So, and maybe make it into a little venture in the future. So I think I'm pretty happy with, now there is a bit more on one side than there is on the other. That's not my biggest issue, because we'll still manage to get everything the way we want it, but it could do with a little bit more, I think, leeway on the other side, right? So see, there's a lot more on this side than there is on this side. So let's try it again and let's try and pull it through on the other side. Okay, a little bit looser now. I think we should be able to give it a bit of a tug. Yeah, there we go. We don't want to pull it too tight. No, that's screwing it the wrong way around. Okay. So let's maybe just unscrew it a bit more. I feel like, no, I'm screwing it the wrong way. I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, this is not going the correct way at all. Here we go. There we are. Now, let's loosen it up a bit. Get it where we want it. That's a bit better. Not fantastically center, but the problem is when you have ADHD, it's kind of like you want everything to be perfect. Right, I know. I think for the first little while it's almost like a little bit of a holiday. It's like, oh my god, yes, no responsibilities. This is great. I can take time for myself, take care of myself and everything, and then you get to the kind of crippling boredom stage and you're like, right, I'm applying for all these jobs and everything and it's not been going well, but oh wow, okay. Yeah, it's tough, right? It's tough on everybody. And I think, like, I was working in the tech industry and that's, I think, where all the job losses are kind of going at the moment, and it sucks. It's very sucky because you've got any tech jobs that do come up. Apologies now, I'm just getting comfortable. Yeah, I mean, you've got any tech jobs that do come up, then you've got about like 500 people vying for one job, and it's hard. It's difficult. So yeah, we won't speak about the unemployment anymore. We'll move on. So yeah, now we have our pattern in straight or straighter. Let's look at this guy. So as I was saying earlier on, this is the punch needle. We're gonna, you can see there's a hole in the top. We're gonna thread our threads through and then pop them into this little hole and out, and then we can start our work. So I think the easiest thing for us to do is to kind of target the center first. Oh no, that's okay, don't worry. Don't worry at all. Absolutely fine. So yeah, we have been given a green thread. So as we can see here in the image, the green thread is on kind of the outer rim here. So we'll leave that to the side for now. Oh, we have 2 lots of it actually. That's great. We have our white for our daisy petals, which again we've got 2 bundles of, which is great. So we're going to leave that to one side. And then we have our nice bright yellow, and that's going to be our inside. So we'll start with that. If I can very gently undo the little bundle of yarn. And then this guy, which when I tried my first punch needle set, you can see, so it's like a little metal hook at the end there. You can kind of see that you can thread it through here. And what we do then is we place it down. We want to see, actually, if I look at the instructions here. So it's saying to lock into the last one, which I feel is a bit, it's saying to lock into this one. That's a bloody great length for a needle. Sorry, I'm trying to show you there. It's like 3 fingers width of a needle. It's a lot. So what we do is we pop our thread. We want to get our fingers in between, like so. And then we want to place our thread in the middle. So we fold it back over itself. So you can see now that there's like 2 lengths. And then, if I can remember correctly, nope. See, she's already getting it wrong. We want to pop it inside first, right? No, I'm having to use my brain here. This is not correct, is it? It isn't, because I haven't got twine in it. So, yes, I was right the first time. Very sorry. We want to plop our thread in between our little metal wire. So we've got like 2 ends, you can see. Then what we want to do is we want to push said metal thread through the bottom here, in through our needle. Except nothing's happening. No. You can tell I'm not a pro at this, right? No, we want to stick it the other way around. We want to do it the other way around. Stick it the other way around. Sorry. So, what we want to do is, we've got a white end on one side, which you can see. And then, obviously, the little loopy bit here. Pointing it more towards my head. So, the loopy end, we want to put through the bottom of the needle so that it comes through to the top. So we do it like so. Whoops. Except it doesn't want to go through for some reason. Hello? There's no blockage. It's only new. It's only a new needle. So, maybe it's because it's done up, I would say. Yeah, let's try it this way. So we pop the needle back in. We're going to gently try and push it through to the top, which, as you can see, your girl is having great difficulty with, for whatever reason. So, apologies. I think what it's trying to do is it's trying to go above the needle on the inside, like above the end point. So if I just have a little look, see? You nearly need a needle to point through the needle. Come on now. In you get, please. Can't have people sit and watch me for 20 minutes try and poke a thing through a needle. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. If you do it the other way around, absolutely fine. But obviously we want it the other way around. So that's, you know, to prove the point. There's a needle at the other side, or that's the metal hook through the other side. So it does go through. It's just being very, very finicky. Because I can tell, even when I get to like this point, this point, it's like springing back. But that's only because it's trying to go around the metal bit. You need to have a lot of patience when it comes to crafting, which sometimes I do not. Because the logic part of my brain tells me, you know, you're good. This is a thing that should work. But then obviously you physically doing it and it's like, it's not working. Why is it not working? Sorry, I took that off because I thought I heard an ambulance voice. I think it's the music. I can't see you. Queen. Okay. I might have to do this like with it clipped in. Because there's a shorter way to go then, I think. Sorry for the absurdity of this, folks. Should be working. Do we? Yay! And there you have it, folks. Only took us like a whole 15 minutes or whatever. It's funny because it's actually gone through the little slip hole. But there we go. We have it. She's in. So now we put our thread through. So what we're doing is we are putting it through the loop here. So what I normally do is I kind of get my finger in there just to give it a little bit of extra maneuver room, especially if the thread isn't like straight put. As you can see here, it's kind of bushy at the end. So all we want to do is have two sort of lengths. Doesn't need to be even necessarily, but yeah, as long as we have it through there. So again, I feel like I've done this backwards, but There we go. It's grand. So now you should be able to see, well, if I can hold it out far enough, through the end we've got thread, and through the needle we have thread. So I'm going to pull the thread through, slightly doing this backwards, and apologies to any crafters or professional crafters that might be watching that are like, you're doing it wrong. So I've pulled the majority through the end so that we have our excess on the end side here. And now I'm gonna thread this through again. Okay. Pull the thread through the little metal hook again. And then the metal hook, oops, if I can get it, which it'll be a lot easier this time, goes out through the hole. Before the point here, it goes out through the hole. Nope. And I've done the little thing the wrong way again. Whoops. Let me untangle that. So as you can see, currently no thread through the hole. We pop our little metal hook through and put our string through it. Oh, I've done this the wrong way again. You can tell I'm not a professional. I need to give myself the time to think as well. Would be great, wouldn't it? We want to go this way. So like back in through the needle. And then we put our string through. Oh, thank you, Meowdy. Thank you very much. So we're pulling it back through the hole in the needle. You can see, just about. So pulling it through, pulling it through, pulling it through, pulling it through. And there we go. So now we have it through the hole. So I like to give myself a little small bit of length. Not too much, not too little. And what we're going to do is we are going to start here on the circular bit. So we'll move this out of the way. What I'll do is start somewhere on the line, the pink line that you can see here. So we'll pop it through the first stitch. Just enough, you don't have to push it the whole way down. Some people like to, I suppose it depends on how thick the parchment is, or the fabric is, and also how much you're stitching in one area. Like if you've done, you say you're on your last stitch and you're trying to kind of finish up, you might want to push it the whole way down because the stitch may not have gone through correctly, let's say. So what I'll do then is, as you can see, the end bit from the loop that goes through the needle, I'm going to pull this through just so that that's on our other side and that'll stay underneath. So to go on to our next stitch then, we're going to pull up. What I like to do is I like to pull out the point bit first. Maybe move down, you can see the tiny, tiny little holes in and around the fabric. So what I'll do is I'll push down 2 or 3. Again, just keep it to the pink line and push down. And then pull back up, go down 2 or 3, push down. And we go like that, or we keep going like that, just around the pink line for the moment. Always pushing the point down first. So you'll see you start to develop a nice little pattern as you go along. I'm going to just move it around slightly so you can see as I go that we're starting to develop that little pattern. Now, you may get some loose stitches. That's okay. You have the ability to pull them back. Don't necessarily love doing that, but it depends on the material you're working with. You can kind of realign so that you can push through quite easily again and form the pattern if you really want to. If you don't, you can just keep going. A loose bit isn't gonna be the be all and end all of everything. It depends on, I suppose, really how much, if you're like me and you're a little bit of a perfectionist. Now, the other thing is, if you can see that you've got more string coming out the top than you care for, you can use your end bit here to give you as much leeway as you want to. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Oh, I seem to have lost my last stitch, so let's go for that again. All the time you've got the extra length, so you know, do with that what you will. Now obviously these specific crafting ones only give you a certain amount of string, so you want to try and utilize as much of that as possible. If you're using your own materials, you know, you might have a really big ball of yarn that, you know, if you have excess, you can use as you like. So we'll keep going around again, following the pink line as our guideline. We'll keep going. We've still got that lovely little pattern going on. As you can see. So once we kind of reach back at our starting point, we're going to go, as I say, or as I would normally say, we're going to go in one. So we've done the whole way around the first bit. So when I say we're going to go in one, it just means that we're going to follow our guideline. What I tend to do is to use the edge, the inner edge of our line or our circle here as guidance for my next row. So I'm going to go in just a little bit, meet the edge of the material or the thread that we have on the inside. I'm pushing down a little bit harder just because we're kind of meeting the other stitch. So as I was saying before, you know, you can either go in midway on the needle, or if you find it's a bit tougher, we can punch the whole way down. It's completely up to you. I do think though, I must say, we are doing quite well in terms of the stitch. It's keeping well. The pattern is nice. We've got good length between stitches. You will find sometimes that it might not sit right. Again, you can at that point pull the thread back and just, what I have a tendency to do is, if I find that there's big holes between stitching once I've pulled back, is I use my nails, or you can use something else on either side to just scrape at the material. It will eventually combine some of the material back to its original form, just so much that you can get a stitch through it again. So it's not a big issue, especially for these types of hobby craft ones where, you know, it comes with all the equipment that you need. It's fine. Now, going back to it, sorry, I think I've pulled it very much out of the way of the camera. That's my bad. I don't actually think I'm going to have enough of this yellow. This is weird. Unless it's trying to get me to do bigger stitches, which potentially it might be. But yeah, it's you can see there, it's very much at the end. So we might have to pull back already. Which is kind of a nuisance, if you ask me. I don't, from any of the other punch needle things I've done, they kind of give you a lot more than what these guys have given us. It might just be a case I might have to use my own thread. I don't unfortunately have yellow to hand to be able to go through and do that with you guys. So it might be another day kind of thing. Yeah, like as you can see, no more thread. So that's essentially what the stitch looks like. I don't think we've done too badly with that. I've only managed to get around from the very beginning, get around 3 times. You can just about make that out there. So look, that's what the back looks like. Now granted, I probably have given too much thread through on the other side. However, I do feel for a crafting kit that was far less than I had imagined it would be. But again, I think we'll have to come back to the yellow. I'm going to leave that as it is for now, and I think the next part we move on to is the white. We have been given 2 lots of thread, so that's possibly going to be better. We might do a little bit longer in the stitch for the white to give us a bit more. So we'll go ahead and thread that through. Apologies, I just had some excess thread. So again, we go in with this guy. We hope it goes through better than the last time. No, again, already he's getting stuck. So yeah, I am just in general conversation whilst I try and thread this through. I am going to try and do a bit more crafting on this channel by way of stitching, knitting. I have yet to try crochet and I need to learn that. I have an awful lot of wool sitting around. Potentially baking if I can get my setup for that in the way that I want it. And maybe some paint by numbers. We shall see. You know, just an area that we can share where we can create a community, hang out, have a knit and natter, you know, in this case, hobby and natter. All with the view of, like, just having a nice, safe space to do things that we enjoy. And maybe to help grow the community and see where it takes us. Now, admittedly, this thread already, I can tell, is an awful lot longer than the yellow, so that's a good sign. And if we have 2 that are the same length, 2 little bundles of the white that are the same length, that's going to be even more helpful. It means that we're going to get around this a bit more and a bit easier. However, I am going to do slightly bigger stitches, I think, for this, and see how we get on. So again, that was a little bit faster this time. We've threaded our needle through. We're going to start on the white. Again, I think I'm going to start from the outline, or do I start from the... Maybe I start outward. What way do we think we've done it here? Oh, they've gone edges and then up and down. Right, okay, let's try edges. So the outline of the petals, and then they've gone in the way. So they've gone around and then in. We'll try that. If it doesn't work, then we could go the other way around. I think. We'll try. So first things first, we want to follow our red line around, or a pink line in this case. We're going to go a little bit longer in length. Oh, hang on, I didn't do that right at all. See, there's our first little screw up, and I've put that through, and it's almost as good as new. I think I'm going to leave a shorter end this time. What I wanted to do was to pop it through initially, pull our excess thread through this guy here, and now we can give it a little bit or a lot of length. So we go shorter than last time. It was going this way. So I'm going to come up, go back down, and then maybe a shorter one just for the corner. I'm going to hold on to the other thread there because it seemed to be giving us a little bit of leeway, which we don't really want this time. There we go. Another one. Another one. Another one. I kind of go for I don't want the pink line to be shown. However, it's not going to matter because we're going to do the green on the outer stuff eventually. So you're definitely not going to see it as much. Didn't think the round petals would be as difficult as this. But look, we'll see what it looks like eventually, right? Trust the process and all that. That's what they say, right? Trust the process when you're doing anything, thread needle, or just anything crafty. You've got to trust the process. I can't see what way this is forming because I'm literally only looking at the stitch in front. I'm seeing a lot of the pink, which is kind of grating on my nerves a little bit now, but I know, as I said, it's gonna go. I've got a lot more thread in this, which is great. It's what you like to see. My aim is to kind of start off with the kit to see how I go, and once I become accustomed and comfortable enough with it, is that I'm gonna try and do some of my own designs. Now, I might be okay at crafting, but I'm definitely not good at designing things. So, I'm thinking about maybe taking a graphic design course online to sort of get into it, but I don't know. We'll see. I think my ideal thing, given the age that I am, and just, having done everything from customer service to IT to everything else, is I like the idea of being my own boss. I like the idea of being self-employed, but it is a pipe dream. So if I could have a little crafty hobby business, or to have my own sort of homeware shop or brand or whatever, would be lovely. Again, pipe dream currently. This is why I'm trying new things. This is me taking a little bit of a leap of faith. And the reason that I'm doing test streams all week to see if this kind of thing will work for me. I come from a long lineage of creatives, and there comes a certain point where you realise you have to be the one to bite the bullet. You have to be the one to try the things. Ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. So there are different size stitches. I'm fully aware of this. I know I said I was just going to do big ones, but it's quite difficult when it comes to the corners, I've noticed. Because you want to make sure you can see your corners so that when you kind of come to do your next stitches, you see in where it is. Especially when you've got like the background green colour to come through as well. Otherwise your petals are going to just look like lumps. So you can kind of see, we're not doing too badly, I don't think. Gonna go up here then. You guys can all see this okay? I hope. I'm conscious that like I have 2 cameras, which I'm not used to, number 1. And that they're at different angles and different heights. So it's making for an interesting time for me. It's just making sure that you guys can see everything as well, you know? The other thing I do eventually want to try my hand at, I'm not set up for currently, is I've done candle making, but I want to try soap making, but like organic soaps. But that will be a case of like, I need to get equipment and stuff for that first before I start doing it. So you can see anyway, we have our initial full circles, our full outline done. So these guys have gone like, if you can kind of see, they've done the outline, but then they've gone in this way. I figure I'm not going to have enough like thread yarn for that, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna try it my way of like no, maybe I just do it their way. Yeah, okay, let's try it their way, right? They're doing it like this. It's a little bit on the interesting side to try and follow where there's no line. You're just having to kind of make up as you go along. I'm sorry if I pull funny faces. It's not intentional, it's just, you know, your face be doing things. So already it's starting to feel a bit thicker, and I'm not doing the same consistency of loops, and I've got a gap already. So I'm going to pull back a little bit, fix up these little holes, and then go back in, I think. Okay, so we're going to go back down now. A little bit of a lump there that I don't like. Not thrilled about that. Again, I have another freaking hole that I don't want. Okay. This is where the perfectionism comes out. No, not perfectionism. I just don't want giant gaping holes in my threaded bits. So going in here. And then going into the corner a little bit. Okay. And we're turning it around. I'm gonna go out here. Then, like I said, I like to go in towards last stitches just so that there aren't any massive gaps. And as you can see, that was a bit of a wee struggle. Yeah, again, I don't think this has given me half enough like thread or materials to do this, because already I'm kind of running low. You seeing this? Can I make sure that you're seeing this? Trying to hold it in a certain way that you can see everything. Pull my thread back a bit. I think I'm gonna have to get a mat for underneath where I'm stitching, especially if I'm stitching kind of sideways for the camera for you guys. Okay, that was a slightly bigger stitch. Oh, it came out in the middle, that's why. You could call this a practice run, right? Specifically for the stream. But also, like, this particular kit, I think. Because we're learning that it most definitely doesn't give you enough of the materials that you require, which is kind of poop, really. We're doing a little bit better though. I think there is definitely going to be some gaps in the material, which is a pain. I don't like things to be patchy. As I said before, I'm a bit OCD when it comes to these things. I wanted to at least look a little bit professional, you know? You know what I mean? So we are coming towards the end, you can see there, of the thread already. She's at length. I think I'm going to go down this way and then back and over. We may as well pull that one through. Yeah. So there we go. That was one little ball of yarn done. That's what we've got for the second lot. I honest to God do not see it going the whole way around. But let's give her a try, right? And I think this time I'm going to put the metal bit in back to front. So you can see it there. I've put it through the bottom end rather than the top end to see. Okay. So again, you've got your two little bits. We'll pop them through. Yeah. And then, yeah, this is much better to go through the bottom, because what we can do is we can do 2 in 1 and we can thread it through the hole. Maybe not. Maybe not 2 in 1. But I can. Oh wait. I've confused myself again. There we go. And then pull her through. There we go. So now we have our little bit. And I will start off pretty much where we were before. And we'll pull the string through on this side. Whoa. There we go. So you can see the hanging amount that's left over. Aha. So I'm going to pull it through a bit more. I think the problem I had with this one was I left it too long. Still wouldn't have been enough to finish it, mind you, but that's not the point. So here we go again. Right, already made a hames of that. So we'll try it again. We'll pull her through, or back through. Okay. I'm gonna have to go a bit like wonky ways, I think, in here. See, this is what I was afraid of if I followed what they were doing, which was going like up and down, because you can't really go up and down. Well, I can't, certainly. As we can see, the stitches are a bit all over the place currently. I do think I'm gonna have to, like, yeah, go in. I think I'm gonna have to do this one slightly differently. Excuse me, I've got a little fibre of thread in my nose. Tickling the inside of my nose, should I say. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in to then go back out again. And double in on stitches, which is where it becomes quite thick. And it looks a bit gammy, but can't really do nothing about it. Again, I can tell you right now, there's not enough thread in this. Unless I wanted like massive, absolutely massive gaps. So you can see how much is left. Look, All of that. It's bananas. We're gonna finish this stream later and be like, why is there such massive dents in my desk? It's because I put big holes in my desk. It's kind of coming together, I feel like. I'm going to look at it in about 5 minutes and say, that's not the way I want it to be. The little ball of thread is... Well, this, I keep calling it thread or yarn. First of all, I don't call it yarn. Because here in Ireland and the UK, we call it wool. There's not a big enough ball of wool that comes with these. They're just like little, small little bundles that, you know, they give you with the kit. But even that is, if you're doing proper, you know, punch needle, is definitely not enough. It's going to be interesting to do like the before and after with you, only to see that it looks nothing like the picture, because there's giant gaping holes where there should be more wool. But alas, we do not have enough. And I could go searching, but I would be days and then I'd get lost. You know that thing you do when you start tidying an area that you haven't like gone through in a long time, and then you come across these cool shiny things that you forgot you had, that have been hidden away for like the past year or so. Because we moved house in March this year, so there's a lot of things that are still in boxes. So if I started going through them, I'd be like, oh my god, look at this thing. And I'd fall down that rabbit hole. And I'm not going to do that today. That's for certain. But yeah, if you're watching this and it's your first time into the channel, number one, hi, it's lovely to meet you. And number two, this is normally I would do the streaming of Vidmo games, aka video games, but I decided I wanted to do a mix of things, I guess, or use this channel for a mix of things to see what works and what doesn't, and to keep me sane while it's just me in the house. Because having recently been diagnosed, sorry, I'm all the way off the camera there. Having recently been diagnosed with ADHD, it's given me the oh crap, did stitches, bad stitches. It's given me the time to realise that I don't really like to be on my own. But I'm also now extremely introverted. So I basically want to make friends, have some hobbies. Oh, this whole row of stitches does not want to work. Why? Why you not want to work? Huh? What did I do to you? Yeah, wanna craft, wanna hang out, wanna have fun. Maybe make a couple of dollary doodles on the side. And help pay some bills, you know. Oh dear. This really doesn't want to work. What the hell? Guys, what's happening? Let's get a crap together and help do this stitch, please. No, you go in. Wait. Lads, what's with these last couple of stitches? Sorry guys, I don't know what's happening. I've lost my mojo. What's happening? Like, there's loads of lac left on the thread. I just, I don't know why it doesn't want to. I think I'm gonna have to try and like hold the stitch in place underneath. Ah! First injury. Only minor, it's fine. This isn't the sharpest one that I've used, but yeah, that was weird. It's like it's not pulling. It's like the thread is caught on the end or something. I don't know. Jesus, okay. That's why. Some fool decided to knot the yarn. Could have been me, mind you, but that's better. That's what was causing it then. Anywho, where was I? Oh yes, I was saying that I want to do crafting here, I want to do gaming here, I want to do a little bit of everything, but I want to grow a community and I want us to have fun and talk about the things we love. We can craft together, we can have crafting times, crafting days. If you want to know a specific kit that I'm doing, and you want to know where to find it, I can definitely like set those kinds of streams up. I'd happily do those streams actually, because it could be like our you know, coffee mornings. Crocheting coffee? No. Punch needle and peppermint tea? Okay, so I've got a little bit of looping going up on top, which I'm not thrilled about. But yeah, I mean, the other side of it is, right, I have a Discord, on that Discord is also where I want to grow my little community. So what I can do is ahead of time, I can tell you what thing I'm crafting and where to find the kit if you want to get involved. Like this week is all about testing what I'm gonna stream going forward, and you know, seeing how we go. Obviously keeping the stitching going on camera would be great. We're not going to get this whole thing done, lads, I'm telling you that now. It's annoying. But like, if I set up a page on the Discord or a channel on the Discord server directly for the crafting stuff, we could have these types of conversations about like what we're going to craft. I can give you the list of equipment if it's not a kit. So yeah, we got one half of the daisy done. Right? Not thrilled. Had a couple of hiccups along the way, but look. We can start the green now. I'm going to take this opportunity to hydrate. And so should you. So we move on to our green now. Nearly knocked the water over. Please don't do that. Water is for watering plants, washing, or putting some goodness into your body, basically. That's all it should be used for. So, yeah, now we move on to the green. Should be easy because obviously pardon the hair. Obviously we're going to do the outer line first and work our way in. If you can see some multicoloredness going on at this side here, it's because my keyboard has like a rainbow thing. So it's off to the side a little bit there. So let's find one of the ends. Consider that found. Get our needle. And for those of you, my injury is fine. It's just like a little dot spot. You can't even really see it now. No. We did not bleed. We're not getting blood on the equipment. We're all gravy. I have lost my little hook. Oh, I didn't. It's on my little blanket. There we go. So I think we're going to do it the same as last time. Do the opposite of what the directions were actually telling us to do and put the hook up through the top. We'll be seasoned veterans by the end of this, I promise. Get our thread through. Got our two little lengths here. Put it up through the needle and out the top. There we go. Great, there we are. Now we want to place it through the hole here. So we want to thread the little hook, our little threading hook through. Thread the material through and then pull it through the eye of the needle, as it were. There we go. Again, give ourselves a little bit of length. I think maybe like a thumb's worth, right? That should do the trick. And then we get started. Now, just to show the discrepancy in how much thread should be in this versus what they give us, I'm going to start at the top here. Well, technically it's the side, that's the top. So we'll see the finished product versus the picture. See what the difference is, right? Okay, so you can see a little bit of the threads there. So we're going to pull it through the back. It's gone longer than thumb length, so we'll pull it back through just a little bit. So I'm just going to breeze through this, hopefully. Do the stitches maybe a little bit bigger. See, this is why we needed a bit more room around the edges when we first started, because I'm technically scraping off the side of the hoop now, and I'm not the ideal situation. We keep going and going. So it may not come out like perfect, but again, this is just kind of, it's test stream, it's test run of crafting. Well, specifically punch needle crafting today. And see how we go from there. Yeah, I'm gonna have massive pens in my desk today after today's stream. Almost poked myself again. Also, if there's a certain category other than just chatting that I should be doing this under in Twitch, drop me a comment and let me know, because I'd you know, like to highlight this in the right places. So there you have it. Or as you can see, there we go. There's the whole circle. But we're gonna go in. Maybe the bigger stitching is working. I'm not sure, but we shall find out. Just gonna keep going around, keep going and running and going. Oop. Our little metal hook has gone on a journey. He's trying to hook the piece of material behind. It's hilarious. Like, no! Stop! Please! I don't really know what people do. Like, I would assume you could just keep it on this. Well, you would really keep it on this loop, this circle, and just cut the excess off. Like, you could. What my idea was that I would just get a piece of material and glue it onto the back. But again, that's not something I've tried. It's something I can try eventually. Oh god, this isn't going to go very far either. Granted, this is one of those makeshifty kits, I think, that I have bought off Temu. So, and it's my first one. I can understand why they're as cheap as they are if you're not getting necessarily all the materials that you need to create. That's alright, we live and we learn. As I said, this is just a kind of a practicey one at the moment, test one, specifically for the stream. We'll see how we go. Once I become more confident in the craft, I want to say, I could start making my own. So we've got 1, 2, 3 loops around from the start, but we are on to our second ball of yarn. Wool. Wool, 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 wool. Came from a sheep. Bah! Wool. Again, I'm not going to talk you through this. We've done it so many times now. I'm going to put the loop in as my grandmother would say, or my mother. I'm going to put it in arseways. No, that's not arseways. This is arseways. Because we're going from the bottom to the top. That's a thread. That's a thread. Again, your 2 lengths, pull through. There we go. She's a good one. Then through our thread hole, I'm gonna pop it through. And then we're gonna pull it through the little thread hole, and there we go. Metal hook can be left to the side now because we're not threading anything else. Once this ball is gone, we're done whether we like it or not. So we'll place it through where we did the last stitch and pull it through behind, and then we're gonna just pull the thread up a little bit here, like so. And we rally on. And we keep going round the merry-go-round of life. No, not of life, of stitchings. Of stitches. Words. Being kind of careful where I place the stitches as well. As I said, you don't want to go too far, you don't want to leave too much of a gap. You want to just give yourself enough. Make sure, obviously, the whole time that your excess thread is like as loosey-goosey as can be, because you don't want what happened earlier on where the stitches kept coming undone. If it's too taut, that's what's going to happen. You just want to make it so that you keep even spacing. If you're a real perfectionist, you know, you don't want to leave any blanks, so you kind of keep in similar stitches as you go around. You kind of use the previous stitch as an indicator of how far you want to go along as well, so that you're not see, that's where she's getting thick. Yeah, you want to use them as an indicator so that you're not going wrong, you're not leaving too much of a gap, too big a space, and you're kind of forming, just in general, you're kind of forming a pattern. So now she's all bundled up at the top here because I haven't been paying attention. There we go. the last one had kind of come undone there, you can see, but it's no big issue. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm not going to go back on myself. It's fine. But you can see, yeah, there's definitely not going to be enough to finish it off completely, I don't think, today anyway. The plus side of this is, right, even though I don't have enough of the exact same coloured wools, so they definitely didn't give enough in this, as we can see as we've gone along, like we kind of, you know, we're seeing what works, what doesn't. But also the thing is, I could take this apart, take the yarn out, take the wool out, it's wool, take the wool out and use different colours if I wanted to. If I couldn't find the same colour, if I had, like, which I do, similar colours in the wool, or I could just do, you know, go off the wall and have it mad colours. Now I am coming in by some of the petals. I know I'm not going to have enough wool, so I'm just going to keep going around in my circle for the moment, just for the purposes of the test stream today. She's getting thick, lads. That's why I'm struggling to get the needle through. I've seen some of these punch needle kits as well where you can make rugs, which I'd love to try, but they're just slow and steady wins the race, right? Practice makes perfect, blah blah blah. Because there's more open wide space in some areas, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back the way rather than go back over some of the stitches I've already done where the petals are meeting the green now. I've also possibly contradicted myself an awful lot during this video. But you can kind of see how it's coming together. Not all of the instructions I gave always make sense. My brain says one thing and my mouth says another in words. Quite often than not. Sometimes words can be difficult. Yes, I see it now. I'm going to go back around. And I'm also about to run out of thread anyway, so it's no big deal. Oh, good Christ. Yeah, where's my hook gone? The hook that I said I would no longer need. But it's pretty cute. I won't lie. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out a couple of stitches there, but it's no big deal. It's just to get this last bit done. But note to self in future, if I'm doing this, make sure there's going to be enough wool, you know, because it definitely wasn't in this one, which is sad, but look. Thank you, Grak. I know you're probably watching from a distance. You've got an hour to go. Bless you. Is this going to work? I don't think it's going to work, lads. Yeah, it's not going to work. Right, I'm going to have to leave that there. Just pretend it doesn't exist, okay? Bottom line is, it went well-ish. So, our current unfinished finished piece, right? This is how it's supposed to look. If we had been given the correct amount of thread. And ooh, the reveal of our first crafty from our first crafty stream. It voila. It didn't go so well. Moral of the story is it was okay. They didn't give us enough thread. No. Like, I was all excited because I got 2 bundles of green and 2 bundles of white. There definitely wasn't enough thread in there. Like, at all. So I'm a little bit upset. But it's not the end of the world. As I said, yeah, shocking behaviour. It did come from, like, Temu. So, am I surprised? No. Today, as I said, was all about just testing this, seeing if this kind of stream worked, which I think it has. You know, just have to keep remembering where I'm pointing, holding things. For this camera. That one. Sorry. I have to remember the angle of the wangle and all that jazz. But all in all, I think it was successful. We can do this again. I'm not sad that we didn't have enough thread because I can go back and use the same pattern and use different colours if I want. As I said before, if I wanted to use different colours, I can do that. There's absolutely no problem. So I'm not sad. It kind of... I think the one thing I notice here is... Oh, sorry, I'll make this bigger again. I do notice the pattern in which they did their inner circle is a bit bananas. They didn't go the route I went, which was to, you know, logically go around in a circle. So confused. Then I did try and follow their second pattern, in which they did the outline of the petals and then they went in the way. But I, you know, again, you can see that here. They go up and down, goes round and round on the edges. Still didn't have enough. And then I tried to do exactly what they did here as well. And even in the 2 balls, it's not enough. And we do have a little bit left over, but I can't rethread the needle at that point because the needle is so big. So, I don't think we did too badly for a first attempt. And this is my second or third attempt at punch needling. So, I'd give us a pat on the back. I'd give us a gold star, you know? But yeah. Happy that this is working. Happy that this is you know, something different for a change. And that, you know, we'll potentially be able to do more. As I said, there's other than the punch needle, I want to try doing baking. I want to try doing painting. I want to try knitting, crocheting, macrameing, and everything in between. Possibly soap making down the road, candle making we can do. And the thing is, I have a Discord channel, or Discord server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a crafting channel specifically on that, so I can keep you up to date with what I'm going to do next. And as I said before, if it was a case where I'm doing something like one of these, that I can tell you where I've got the materials from, or in this case, where I've got the kit from, so we can attempt to do it together and kind of workshop it, which I think would be really, really fun. So, yeah, I think this is a good plan going forward. I like this. We're having fun. Well, I'm having some impatient moments, but mostly having fun. So yeah, that was our project, guys. Again, a little different to how the picture looks based on the amount of supplies they gave us with the kit. But look, it was fun. I had fun. Okay, so give me 2 moments and I will be back with you, and maybe we'll do some streaming. Some game streaming, that is. Okay, BRB!